streak as he takes on the former champion Charles Oliveira. Please welcome Arman Tsarukyan. Oh, Florida! Poor guy, he hasn't even said a word yet and you're already booing him? I think this is what happens when you fight Charles Oliveira. All right, she is a new addition to the UFC roster, an Olympic gold medalist. You know her, you love her. We're so excited to see her face Holly Holm at UFC 300. Please welcome Kayla Harrison. Kayla got the cheers. All right, and he is the former middleweight champion. He is the current light heavyweight champion. He is a fan favorite, fighting Jamal Hill in the main event of UFC 300. Please welcome Alex Pereira. Powhatan in the building. Thanks for being here. Great to see you. Arman, what was the reception about there? What was that reception about?
All of them Brazilians, I guess.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. All right,
Tudo
guys.
bem.
Like I said, if you have questions, line up at the microphones there and there. But I know our media has been patiently waiting, so Jose, I'll get you started. Go ahead.
I'll start with the champion, Alex. Last month, it was announced you were headlining UFC 300 against Jamal, so I'm curious, how far in advance did you know, or were you surprised by the announcement, and what do you make of Jamal as an opponent?
Eles anunciaram no mês passado que você ia lutar com o Jamal no UFC 300. Quanto tempo antes você ficou sabendo? O que você acha dele como adversário?
Bom, foi alguns dias depois, alguns dias antes, a gente ia lutar no Brasil. Mas para mim foi muito melhor agora, né, nessa nova data, porque eu venho sempre treinando. E eu achei que agora é um tempo perfeito para mim.
I found out about it a few days before. We were supposed to be fighting at UFC 301 in Rio. But for me, it's actually better at this date. I'm always training, I'm always prepared, so it's better to fight earlier.
Have you had time to reflect on your short meteoric rise in the UFC? You know, you headlined MSG twice, you're headlining UFC 300, you've headlined in this arena last year. Have you had time to reflect on just how fast your rise has been?
Você já parou para pensar no como foi rápido toda a tua subida aqui no UFC, né? Você já teve luta principal no Madison Square Garden 2 vezes, aqui em Miami, agora vai ser no UFC 300. Já parou para pensar nisso?
Não, com certeza, eu sempre penso nisso e fico muito feliz com tudo que vem acontecendo. Desde quando eu cheguei na organização, muitas pessoas não acreditaram, falaram, pô, o cara veio do kickboxing e, pô, acho que não vai vingar. Muitos tentaram e não conseguiram. Né, e hoje eu estou aí, né, fazendo a luta principal do UFC 300. Então isso para mim é muito importante.
Yeah, I always sit back and I think about it, I reflect on it. You know, when I came into this organization, a lot of people thought that I wouldn't pan out. You know, I'm a guy coming from kickboxing. There's been a lot of examples of people that didn't pan out, and here I am, you know, 2 belts and headlining UFC 300.
Next one's for Kayla Harrison in the middle. Kayla, obviously you're facing Holly Holm, you know, one of the more tenured women in this division. So was this a name that when they approached you with, were you happy with this name? And I think a lot of people were surprised it was going to be a bantamweight considering, you know, your career in the PFL.
Yeah, of course. I think, you know, I don't use the word legend lightly, but I think Holly is very much a legend in the sport. She's been in the top 10 for years now. She's been a former champ. So I didn't come over here to just see how I can do and fight amongst everyone, but I'm here to come over and win a UFC title and finish my career on top. So Holly's a good start to that.
I do have to ask, how has it been having to cut to 136 pounds?
Do I look okay? I look in shape? I'm coming for a UFC title, so fucking come hell and high water. 135, here I come.
And one final one for you. I would be remiss, but I have to ask, what do you think of Cyborg is training with Holly down in Jackson?
Who? God, she just loves to stir the fucking pot, doesn't she? Go home already. Nobody cares.
And question for Arman. Obviously, you're fighting Charles Oliveira, one of the more popular and one of the best lightweights of all time. So I'm curious, what do you make of Charles as an opponent? And do you believe if you get that victory over Charles, you can be the one that, in your case, rematch Islam for the title?
Yeah, of course. This is a good fight. Charles is one of the best in our division. Yeah, so I'm so excited to beat Charles and then fight for the title. So I know this fight for the contender number one, and for sure I'll be me.
Last one for me. There's a lot of lightweights coming up. You know, I got the BMF fight between Max and Justin. You got you and Charles. You have Mateusz Gamrot, RDA. Dustin Poirier is fighting Benoit Saint-Denis. So do you believe that you have to kind of put a statement against Charles Oliveira to kind of catapult yourself above all these other lightweights?
Yeah, of course I gotta go there, knock him out, and to get that title fight.
Alex over here. What did you learn from watching your teammate Glover Teixeira take on Jamal Hill?
O que você aprendeu vendo o Glover lutar com o Jamal?
Bom, acho que diretamente na luta ali, para mim, acho que é o menos importante. Eu acho que o importante é que eu aprendo todo dia com o Glover, de quando eu cheguei ali na academia dele. Eu venho aprendendo muito, me dedicando muito, e eu priorizo isso.
I think that the fight itself is the least important that I learned from Glover. What I most learned from him is on the daily life, you know, in the gym every day and how he carries himself and what he's like as an athlete. That's where I really learned from Glover.
And you guys, Glover's in the front row right now. Give it up for Glover Teixeira.
And a question for Kayla. How and when did these conversations start to eventually make the move over here?
Well, I mean, I think when I first started MMA, the goal was always to become UFC champion. It's been a lot of highs and lows, some bumps along the way, but ultimately this was the goal when I came to MMA. And I knew that whatever contract I signed was probably going to be the last contract I signed. And if not now, then when? I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able. I don't want to look back and be 70 years old and say, fuck, I wish I had given it a shot. So it's time to go, baby.
And what are your thoughts on the current situation at women's bantamweight?
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. My thoughts are there's a new sheriff in town, and on April 13th, everybody's going to find out.
Last one from me, one more for Alex. There were rumors that you were going to headline UFC 301 in Brazil, but obviously we're now here, we're going to headline UFC 300. So did it all play out how you wanted, or what are your thoughts on that?
Tava todo mundo falando que você ia estar na luta principal no Rio, no 301, e agora está no 300. O que você achou disso tudo?
Bom, achei muito bom. Como eu falei, eu venho sempre treinando, mas teria um tempo maior aí. Talvez eu teria que diminuir um pouquinho os treinos. Mas da forma que eu vinha treinando, eu só dei continuidade e para mim eu achei perfeito.
I thought it was better. You know, I'd always training, so if I was going to fight in May in Brazil, I might have to slow down my training process. But, you know, like this, it's much better. I can pick up the pace and keep going.
My first question's for Alex. Talking about that fight Jamal had with Glover, there's that moment of you and Alex making eye contact after the fight, or excuse me, you and Jamal making eye contact after the fight. Is this personal at all for you, or is this just all business?
Aquele momento lá depois que o Jamal ganhou do Glover no Rio, você olhando, encarando o Jamal lá dentro do octógono. Essa luta é uma luta pessoal ou é business?
Não levo nada pro pessoal. Sou um cara profissional. Se eu for agir com o coração, eu acho que eu saio um pouco da estratégia. Muitas pessoas viram aquela imagem, mas todo mundo sabe que eu sou um cara assim, um cara mais sério. Então colocaram aquela imagem, focaram bem nela, colocaram em câmera lenta, tentaram fazer o máximo para deixar essa imagem. Mas com certeza eu estou agindo com a razão e não com o coração.
No, I don't take any fight personally. You know, I'm a professional. I can put my heart into it. That image, you know, I'm a serious-looking guy. They took that image, they slowed it down, they tried to make everything look like, you know, it was some mean dogging over there and here, but you know what, I think with my brains and not with my heart.
And my next question's for Kayla. Obviously, Holly's been right at the top of this division for so long. Usually if somebody beats her, they go on to get a title shot. Has there been any assurance from the UFC to you that if you beat her, you would be next in line?
You know, this sport is crazy. You got to take it one fight at a time. My focus is on April 13th, UFC 300, Las Vegas, live. Holly Holm and me, we're going to throw down in the cage. And I plan on putting on such a beating that they have no choice but to give me the title shot after that. It's in my hands.
Thanks.
Do we have any more media questions? One more?
For Kayla, first of all, when did bantamweight become a reality for you? Was it when Amanda retired? Did you start thinking, hey, it might be 135?
Well, really, bantamweight became a reality and is going to become a reality on April 12th. It's not something that I had considered before, but I knew that, again, whatever contract I signed was going to be the last contract. This opportunity arose. I don't want to look back on my life and say, what if, what if, what if? Yes, it's a sacrifice. Yes, it sucks. I miss pizza. I miss cookies. I miss brownies. But I do believe that UFC gold will be worth it.
And last one for Arman.
Thanks.
Arman, you saw the reception here today. Are you prepared to be the bad guy at UFC 300?
Say again, please.
Are you prepared to be the bad guy at UFC 300 based on the reception?
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to be a bad guy. I'm a good guy. So, and good guys always win. So.
Thank you.
Do we have more media questions? Okay, before you ask your question, I'm just curious, Kayla. I think those of us working in the space want to know, what are you doing for the weight cut? Are you working with the Performance Institute, and how's that going?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am working with Charles. I also have my nutritionist here on the ground in Miami, Eric Pena. I have my chef, Dara, Dish Bliss Kitchen, who's also a nutritionist. They're super dialed in. My coaches are everyone's like, you know, they're prepared. I'm trusting them. I'm trusting the process. And I'm loving it.
Total pro. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, this one's for Kayla.
Oh, Steve-O is in the building. Give it up for Steve-O. He is the absolute best. We love you. Steve-O! Okay, go ahead.
Kayla, I'm just curious, with UFC 300, huge event, but also UFC 299 in Miami, now your hometown, South Florida. Were there any thoughts of having you fight in this show instead of UFC 300?
No, I didn't get offered that. I got offered UFC 300, Holly Holm, Las Vegas. It feels like the Olympics all over again, so let's fucking go. But I do love Miami.
I love that. Any more media before we move to the fan questions? All right, this guy has been flexing every 5 seconds.
Chama! Chama!
Chama.
Can you hear me? Huh? Question for the champ, Alex Pereira. Alex, a fight between you and Tom Aspinall was rumored for this event. How did you think that fight would have went? And do you have any plans on fighting at heavyweight in the future? Plino Cruz, shout out. And Glover.
Tinha boato aí que você ia lutar no UFC 300 com o Tom Aspinall. O que você acha disso? E você tem algum plano de subir pro pesado?
Bom, não chegou nada para mim. Bom, eu sou lutador. Da mesma forma como eu era do peso médio e me perguntaram se eu ia lutar no meio pesado, eu estava focado no peso médio, mas falei quando o meu corpo me avisasse que eu teria que fazer isso. Eu fiz isso, subi, deu certo. Eu posso falar a mesma coisa. Eu não sei quanto tempo eu tenho no meio ainda do MMA, mas se meu corpo falar que eu tenho que subir, eu vou fazer isso. Eu sou lutador.
I wasn't offered that, but you know, when I was fighting at middleweight, people kept asking me when I was going to move up to light heavyweight, and my answer was always, you know, I'm focused on middleweight. When my body tells me I'll move up, I did that, it worked out. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to fight in MMA, but whenever my body tells me, I'll move up again if needed.
That's it for me.
Thank you.
Chama! 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 Chama!
Let's go over here.
My question's also for the champ. Over here. Oh, she's not looking. Drama. My question is, how fast are you gonna knock Jamal's bum ass out?
Quão rápido tu vai nocautear o Jamal?
Bom, eu sempre entro nas minhas lutas, né? Pô, eu quero ganhar, não importa como é. Todos os nocautes que eu já fiz na minha carreira, nada programado, e eu vou seguir dessa mesma linha.
I want to win, like in every fight, as soon as possible. I never planned to get a knockout, and that's how I've always gotten a knockout, and I'm going to follow that.
Go ahead.
Poetan. Love you, Poetan. My question is do you think Jamal Hill is dumb enough to stand with you? And if he does, are you going to knock him out with the left or the right? Chama.
Você acha que o Jamal é burro o suficiente para ficar em pé com você e você vai nocautear com a direita ou com a esquerda?
Bom, do nocaute eu não sei se vai acontecer. Pô, se acontecer, pô, vou ficar muito feliz. Mas, cara, a gente está falando de MMA, né? Eu tenho certeza que se ele se comportar bem e achar que está bem na luta, é claro que ele vai dar continuidade. Mas a gente está falando de MMA. Ele pode usar outras armas também. Mas não dá para saber o que vai acontecer.
You know, I don't know if the knockout will come. I'll be very happy if it does, but we're talking about MMA. You know, if he feels comfortable and he feels like what he's doing is working, he's going to continue doing that, but he can always use his other weapons as well.
Obrigado, Poetan. Obrigado.
Valeu, obrigado.
Go ahead over here.
I got a question over here from my boy Alex. Can I put all my money on you on UFC 300?
Ele quer saber se pode apostar tudo em você no 300.
Bom, eu sou um cara bem sincero. Eu sei da realidade, que eu acho que é isso que faz eu um lutador melhor. Eu sei que eu posso perder e eu sei que eu posso ganhar. Então eu tenho que saber o que eu tenho que fazer para não perder. E eu estou fazendo isso, treinando, me dedicando, com disciplina. Claro que tudo pode acontecer, mas eu quero ganhar.
You know, I'll be honest, I'm a realist. Anyone can win, anyone can lose a fight. I know what needs to happen for me to lose, and I'm doing everything I can for that not to happen, but it's a fight. Anything can happen.
And one more thing, for the guy all the way to the right,
Arman.
the people's champ has a name, and it's Charles Oliveira.
My question's for Alex, Mr. Pereira. So, do you think Adesanya deserves to just get infinite title shots and fight for the belt next? Or do you think he should earn a title shot and fight someone like Shavaev maybe, and then fight for the title? What are your thoughts?
Você acha que o Adesanya merece ter uma chance pelo título? Você acha que ele precisa fazer uma outra luta, tipo com o Chimaev antes, alguém assim para poder lutar pelo cinturão de novo? Na categoria dele, no médio.
Bom, eu acho que pelo trabalho que ele fez, né? Pô, o cara estava vindo aí como campeão dominante. Eu acho que ele fez um trabalho muito bom e eu acho que ele está na posição de, pô, se ele quer fazer, isso é com ele, mas eu acho que ele está na posição, se ele quiser fazer uma luta ou se quiser ir direto para o cinturão, eu estou de acordo com isso pela história dele.
I think he's put in the work, he's done a lot, and you know, it's really up to him. If he feels like he needs another fight, then I would support him, and if he's going straight to the belt, then I could support him as well for that.
Thank you.
Let's go over here.
Steve-O, big fan, brother. Okay, I got a question for Pereira. Pereira, he just talked about it. Would you welcome Izzy to 205? I know you guys are 1-1 right now, but would you welcome him or would you knock out that cringe lord?
Você e o Adesanya estão 1-1 agora, você receberia ele nos 93 quilos? O que você acha?
Bom, logo quando eu ganhei o cinturão, eu falei isso e, pô, eu tinha essa vontade, mas claro que agora eu meio que esqueci, não vou forçar. Eu acho que agora as coisas têm que acontecer de uma forma natural. Eu quis forçar um pouquinho ali, mas eu acho que se for para acontecer, pode acontecer, mas eu não vou forçar.
You know, I talked about that right after I won the belt, but you know, I'm in a position I don't need to force that. I don't need to push for that. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, but I'm not pushing for it anymore.
Okay, one more. Kayla, so who would be your dream fight? Amanda Nunes or Cyborg? And how would that go, by the way?
I mean, I really can't stand Cyborg, so I do want to punch her in the face, but Amanda's the GOAT. And if you want to be the GOAT, you got to beat the GOAT. So I'd love to fight Amanda someday.
Respect.
Question for Arman.
Arman.
Coming into this fight, how are you going to deal with Charles Oliveira's power?
Say again, please.
Coming into this fight, how are you going to deal with Charles Oliveira's power?
I'm not thinking about his power. I'm just going there and knock him out, and that's it.
Before before we continue on with the fan questions, since this is a UFC 300 panel, I have a question. And Arman, maybe we'll start with you since you're so far away. But UFC 300, this is a historic card. Everyone remembers the 100 card. Everyone remembers the 200 card. Out of our roster of 700 or so athletes, there's only a couple dozen that were selected to be on the UFC 300 card. For you, what did it mean to get that phone call and know that you were booked for this particular card in April?
Question for me?
For everybody, but we'll start with you.
It's a dream fight to fight in UFC 300 because when I fought my last fight, I said I want to fight in 300 and then 400 and then retire. So it's a dream fight especially with a guy who is contender number 1 and beat him and to be contender number 1. So that's it.
Oh man, I'm fucking pumped. Let's go. Yeah, let's go, dude. Honestly, it feels like the Olympics all over again, you know, like there's a special electricity in the air. Like I remember walking into the opening ceremonies and feeling the heat of the Olympic torch on my face and being like, oh no, this is real. And that's how it feels for UFC 300. It's special, and this is the big show, and I can't wait.
That's an unbelievable comparison, by the way. I absolutely love that. All right, I'll get back to the fan questions. Pink Shorts, you're next.
Questão é pro Poatan. Se o senhor podia lutar o John Jones, o senhor queria essa luta ou não?
If you could fight John Jones, would you want that fight?
Como eu falei, estou focado nessa minha próxima luta. Eu não sou um peso pesado. Falei quando o meu corpo respondesse que eu tenho que subir, mas agora meu foco é outro.
As I said, I'm focused on this fight right now. You know, I'm not a heavyweight, and as I said, I'll listen to my body, and if it tells me to move up, I'll move up.
Perfect.
Do Bronx.
Thank you.
A question for Arman. How fast are you going to knock out the fake #1 contender, Charles "Do Bitch" Oliveira? What?
We'll see in UFC 300.
And Poatan, chama!
You guys are on one today. All right.
I got a question for Arman. After fighting Wash Benio Dariush, what are your plans after you get fucking knocked out by Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira? Fuck you!
You're gonna get upset on UFC 300. Don't bet money.
He wouldn't even turn around.
Yeah, my question's for Tsarukyan. Do you plan on changing weight classes after Charles Oliveira submits you?
No, I want to get title in 155 and probably.
Man, get the fuck out
after
of here.
that we can think about
Get
it.
the fuck out of here, man.
You too.
I got a question for Alex. So Jamal is the first true southpaw you fought in the UFC. Do you think your leg kicks will be as big of a tool against him as the former orthodox fighters you fought?
I love a real question. Good work.
O Jamal é o primeiro canhoto de verdade que você vai enfrentar no UFC. Você acha que os seus chutes na perna vão funcionar tão bem contra ele?
Não, acho que tudo vai funcionar. Estou treinando bem. Já lutei com canhoto também. Bom, vai ser bom.
I think everything is going to work. I've fought southpaws before, and it's going to be good.
I'm southpaw, Alex, if you need any help.
Ela é canhota, se precisar de ajuda.
Go ahead.
My question is for Poatan. Parabéns. If everything goes well against Jamal Hill at 300, do you expect a war from him? And if everything goes well, you get a quick finish. Are you planning to stay at light heavyweight for a while? Or do you think you're going to be changing weight after that?
Se tudo der certo no 300 contra o Jamal, você pretende ficar nessa categoria ou você pretende mudar de peso?
Essa é a minha categoria. Pô, estou me sentindo muito bem. Quando eu deixei o peso médio, estava sendo um pouco desgastante, perdendo um pouco ali da qualidade de luta. E eu achei que eu fiz a coisa certa e estou me sentindo bem, então é aqui que eu vou ficar.
This is my division. I feel good. You know, I think middleweight was taking a little bit of a toll, and it was affecting my performance a little bit. So I feel good, and this is where I'm staying.
Thank you, champ.
My question's for the champ, Alex. You cornered Sean Strickland for his fight against Dricus du Plessis at 297. How did you think that fight played out? Did you think Sean did enough to retain his belt? And how do you see that division will play out in the near future?
Você estava no corner lá do Sean na luta com o Dricus, né? O que você achou daquela luta? Você achou que ele ganhou? E o que você acha da categoria agora?
Bom, eu estava ali, eu achei que ele tinha ganho aquela luta. Como a gente fala, pô, são estilos diferentes, né? Eu acho que ele se comportou ali da mesma forma que ele fez, mas o adversário era diferente. Então, complicou um pouquinho o jogo dele ali, mas eu achei que ele levou a luta.
Yeah, I thought he won. You know, we talk about styles, and he did what he could do, but I think his opponent's style messed him up a little bit, but I did think he won the fight.
Good question.
My question's for Arman. How are you training differently for this fight, and what do you think your key success will be to secure the dub?
I train a lot on my freestyle wrestling. I want to take him down and smash him there.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Anyone in particular you're training wrestling with, Arman?
Yeah.
I train in the American top team. It's the best gym. So a lot of UFC fighters there. So especially in my division in 155, so it's about like all top 15 fighters train in American top team. So
Talent-rich gym, to say the least.
My question is for the champ, Alex. When you fight Jamal Hill, I want to know, how do you feel about him saying that he's levels above you, and do you feel like he's going to be 100% after his Achilles injury?
O que você acha dele falando que o Jamal falando que ele está vários níveis acima de você? E você acha que ele vai ter recuperado a lesão dele?
Bom, ele tem que falar que está bem. Ele vai falar que é melhor do que eu, que pode fazer isso. Mas na hora, ele tem que mostrar.
He has to say that. He has to say that he's better than me. He has to say that he's going to do this and that, but he's got to show it.
Knock him out, champ.
This guy has been prepping. All right, it's your turn.
Hi. Yeah, I want to ask something to my boy Arman. Арман, вот эта вот девочка, которая рядом с тобой сидит, сколько бы палок ей кинул, брат? Честно скажи.
Парочку.
My boy.
I wish we had a translator so we could be in on the joke. Do you want to tell us what he said?
No, stupid question.
Oh.
Next one.
Fair enough. Go over
Question for Arman. What round do you think you're going to knock out Oliveira?
I want to knock him out in the first round. Because Islam did in second round. I want to show everybody I'm in a different level. So I want to knock him out in the first round and to show everybody, especially those guys who is here, I'm the best in this division.
Yes, you are. Knock him out.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to ask a question to my boy Arman Tsarukyan. Tell everybody, after you beat Charles Oliveira, who is your next opponent, baby?
Islam Makachev after.
Все, мы будем Ислама, будем его терроризировать, когда наш друг Tsarukyan его тоже отпиздит за титул.
Да, после Оливеры будет бой за титул.
So, мы бегаем за титул. Also, guys, I wanted to congratulate Dana White on getting power slapped to Miami, baby. And another question to Alex Pereira. How do you feel after last fight at the Garden?
O que você achou da tua última luta?
Eu achei uma luta muito boa. Tá bem preparado. Eu não falo muito... não dou desculpas, mas tinha algumas coisas ali, lesões e tal. Hoje, estou 100%. Eu acho que eu consigo fazer algo melhor.
I think it was a good fight. You know, I don't like to make excuses, but I wasn't 100%. There's some things that would have changed, but I can do better.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're
there
good.
was one
good.
time
We're
in the round
good.
where you didn't feel
We
so
only
well.
have like 3 minutes left, and we have a lot of people.
That's okay.
inside.
Let's do it. UFC, baby.
Go grab yourself another beverage over here.
Thank you.
Hey, Alex. Here, if you go to heavyweight, which fighter would you like to fight?
Se você subir pro pesado, quem que você gostaria de enfrentar?
Não, nem sei. Eu tô fora do. Nem sei quem que tá. É uma coisa que não tá no meu plano, então não vou saber te responder.
I don't even know. It's not in my plan, so I don't even know what to answer.
Okay, and question for Arman. After you finish Charles, in which round are you going to finish Islam?
Yes, I will.
Let's go! Woo!
Okay, I'm being told 3 minutes, so if you can keep it to one question, I'm getting in trouble. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, let me get two questions
you're-
real quick.
No, please, keep it to one.
Poatan, you said you want to fight at UFC 300 and 301. Who do you want to see yourself against in 301? Magomed Ankalaev or like an Alexander Rakic?
Você falou que quer lutar no 300 e no 301 no Rio, né? Com quem que você lutaria no Rio? Com Ankalaev ou Rakic?
Qualquer um.
Either one.
Awesome. Kayla, people would say that you were a big fish in a little pond in the PFL. Do you see yourself as a big fish in a big pond here, or do you see yourself where?
I've always been the biggest fish, baby. It's wherever I choose to swim.
Let's go. UFC 300, Combat Sports Today. Check it out on Twitter.
Okay. Go ahead, over here.
Question for Poatan. After you finish Jamal, do you think you're going to call out Israel again? Is that something that interests you? Because I would love to see another Israel fight with you, man.
Depois de separar o Jamal, você vai chamar o Adesanya de novo?
Não, igual eu falei agora, eu acho que as coisas vão ter que ser natural. Eu não vou forçar, do jeito que eu saí da minha última luta, falando o nome dele. Eu não preciso falar, é o que a organização quiser. Eu sou um funcionário, vou fazer o meu trabalho, eu não sei o que acontece.
No, I think it needs to happen naturally. I'm not going to push for it anymore. I talked about it after my last fight, but whatever the organization wants to do, they know what they're doing, and I'm not going to push for it.
All right, one quick thing. Love you, Kayla.
Love you too. All right, we have time, I'm being told, for 2 last questions, and I'm going to make sure you in the red get a question, okay? Yep, you'll be our last one. Go ahead.
Alex, how fucking fast are you gonna sleep Hill, buddy? Come on.
Quão rápido você vai apagar ele?
Não, pô, eu quero ganhar. Eu tô pensando só em ganhar só. Se vai acontecer um nocaute, pô, claro que eu vou ficar muito feliz.
I'm thinking about winning. If a knockout comes, I'll be super happy, but I'm thinking about winning.
Oi, obrigado, Alex. And Arman, you're fucking dead at 300, buddy. You're fucking dead, buddy. You're dead.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, you're our last question.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. For my questions for Alex, I know that you were called out by Dricus and that you did call out Adesanya. Which fight would you rather?
O Dricus te desafiou, né? Você já lutou com a Adesanya, tem toda a história. Qual luta que você preferiria nessa categoria?
Se fosse para falar numa luta mais fácil,